Welcome to Gaming Dad 101, the show for gaming dads and now with the cheat codes. Welcome to episode 65 for the week of January 23rd, 2019. I'm your host Chris, and joining me as usual is Ricky.
What's going on, everybody?
Now, before we get into everything, remember, guys, that Gaming Dad 101 goes live each and every single Wednesday on podcast services around the world. Make sure to go ahead and check us out and subscribe. That way you get the episodes directly to your device. You don't even have to wait for it. And remember, by rating us, you help us get more listeners and subscribers. So thank you very much for everybody who's done so. So, Ricky, how's it been going, dude? Welcome back.
What's going on, man? I am just going through life. What can I say? Over the weekend, that's right. Over the weekend, I went to see the new Spider-Man to the Spider-Verse.
That's right. You went with me. What's up?
Yep. Chris finally took me on our first date. So I was very excited.
So sweet.
I enjoyed the movie a lot. After that, on Sunday, I started getting a little bit of a stiff neck. So the wife was very, very kind. And
it's very bad that you say I took you out on a date and then the next day you have a stiff neck.
That's right, man. I can't help it. Just saying,
It doesn't quite come across that well.
Yeah, no, I ended up staying home with the kids. The wife went and got her hair done and all that, colored it as well. And I was staying at home with the kids, and I was laying on the couch while I was watching watching TV. And the way I guess I had my head tilted, I started getting a little bit of a stiff neck. So Monday, I ended up staying home just because my whole neck and everything just got extra stiff and I couldn't go to work or anything. On Sunday night, the wife ended up giving me a massage. So I don't know if by her giving me a massage, it released, those toxins and everything from your muscles.
Yeah.
And you're supposed to drink a lot of water when you do all that. So the next morning, I was just feeling it. I wasn't feeling it at all. I was in pain. I was like, screw it. I'm not going to go to work. Then on Tuesday, my daughter apparently she said she woke up. She came and got us, but me nor my wife remember her ever coming into our room letting us know that she came to get us. So when my wife woke up around 6:50 in the morning to start making her coffee and all that, to do the morning routine, she ended up walking by my oldest daughter's room and she heard Zoe crying.
Oh.
So my wife walks in and starts asking her, hey, baby, what's wrong? And that's when she tells us that she came in the morning to let us know that she wasn't feeling good, that she felt like throwing up. Then my wife ended up taking her to the restroom. She started patting her. She ended up vomiting a little bit, and then she just started getting in the fetal position, laying on the floor of the bathroom, in our room and all that. And my wife asked her, hey, what is it that you're feeling? And the way that she described it was that she felt like she was being punched in the stomach. So she was having stomach pains, but the closest way of the pain levels to describe it was being punched in the stomach.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so from there, it just kept escalating to where she just kept vomiting throughout the morning. I had left to work. My wife ended up staying with her. So I get a call around 9:50 in the morning. My wife telling me that she has to basically now take Zoe to the hospital, to the ER.
Oh, Jesus.
Because the way that she just kept describing the pain and everything, it kind of sounded a little bit like a appendicitis kind of attack. And my wife has had one of those whenever she was little, so she was kind of afraid that may be happening to our oldest one. So they ended up going to the ER. They ended up running tests on her. She came back negative on everything. They had her do like a jumping exercise because I guess if you jump a certain way, you can kind of feel if it's your appendix.
Mm-hmm.
And she wasn't feeling anything, so they kind of ruled that out a little bit. But they really didn't want to dig into an actual test for the appendix, just because that involves putting her in the CAT scan machine and taking all this radiation that is not really needed. So the doctor was feeling pretty confident that it wasn't that at all. So they just went ahead and released her, gave her some vomiting medicine. So now she's just been walking like a little limp kind of walk, like hunching over a little bit.
Yeah.
She's eating fine. She's drinking water. We're staying away from like greasy foods now, because TMI. But again, this is what everybody's got to remember. This is a parenting podcast,
We do have
so
parenting stuff in it too, yes.
exactly. So there's things that we go through as parents through during our stages of life that we have to deal with our kids.
I'm slightly afraid to ask what.
Well, for the last couple of weeks, also prior to all this happening as well, my oldest has been every single time she uses the restroom, whenever she goes number two, there's been a lot of blood in her stool.
Oh, wow.
So while she was in the ER on Tuesday, we were also asking the doctor, to check her, and everything came back fine. So what we're assuming is because she's been eating. My daughter loves junk food. She loves chocolate. She loves milk. So we're cutting back on milk. We're cutting back on chocolates because that can technically constipate you
Yeah.
or constipate a kid or even an adult. That can happen to us as well. So we have to cut back on that. So now we're doing a regimen of giving her prune juice. We're giving her Marilax, to soften up her stool. What else are we doing? We're giving her fiber gummies. We're looking into foods that are high on fiber now as well, to try to help her out. That way she
Yeah.
doesn't go through that struggle. Because when I tell you that that is a lot of blood, in her stool, unfortunately for a 5-year-old, and it is
Jeez.
and it is it is kind of scary, seeing that. The closest, the way that my wife was describing it when she was telling me, because the original two times that it happened, I didn't get to see it,
Hmm.
but the way that it was being described was as a menstrual cycle basically happening to a
Oh,
female.
wow.
That's how much of that was on the toilet bowl.
Wow.
So
No,
it got.
I hope that she gets better because that just sounds pretty intense, especially for a 5-year-old.
Yeah, and again, that all just goes back to her stool being so hard. I guess she's just pushing and she's just ripping herself whenever she's going number two. So those are the things that I've just been dealing with for the last couple of weeks now. So yeah, it's
Yeah,
it's
that's
it's it's stressful being a parent.
yeah, no, for sure. Definitely, dude. Again, man, I hope that she gets better soon because that does not sound pleasant at all.
Nah.
All right, well,
How about you, man? How you been?
not as bad as that, luckily. No, not bad, man. I actually this past weekend, well, not this past weekend, really on Monday, because on Monday my wife and my kids were off. Sadly, I was working my regular job, but they got to stay home and relax. And I basically, when I got home, I got to watch my nephew, my oldest son, and then my youngest one, all playing Smash Brothers. It was the sweetest freaking cool, like sweetest, coolest thing. I even have a video of JC being all depressed because Pikachu died. I'm gonna show it to you. I may post it on the group. I don't know yet. We'll see. But it was really, really funny. So I definitely not as bad as you, Ricky. So let's go ahead. Let's get the show back on track, and let's check out every week. Let's try that one more time. Every week we have Ricky's Corner, where he goes and he tells us what games are coming out. So Ricky, what's coming out this week?
This week, for some reason, my system kind of just slowed down on me. So sorry for that one. Got me kind of a
This
little
week
bit off
Ricky's
guard.
system doesn't want to cooperate. That's exactly what it's.
No, no, not at all. Not at all. But what can you do though? Now, but this week we were basically excited to say we're getting Kingdom Hearts. No, that's next week.
Yeah, no, that's next
No,
week.
that's really not much coming out except for this Friday. Resident Evil 2 remake is coming out, baby! Yeah! So for those that are
Are you
excited,
slightly excited about that, Ricky?
yeah, most likely I probably won't pick it up though right away.
Oh, well.
Because there's other games. I'm actually debating if I want to grab that or if I want to grab Kingdom Hearts at the end, or if I want to start off the. Cause man, there's a lot of games in the beginning of February that I also want, man. There's so many damn games coming out at the very beginning of the
There's a
month.
lot of stuff coming out this year. It's going to be interesting. I mean,
Yeah.
well, there's a lot of stuff we know of coming out of the early beginning of this year. There's a lot of stuff that we don't know what's coming out for the rest of the year. We'll see. But it'll definitely be interesting.
But yeah, that's really all we got going on. It's just Resident Evil 2 remake coming out for Friday.
All right. Well, with so many games this week, please make sure to watch your wallet so you don't go broke. So let's go ahead and get into the first news article. This is an article over on Video Gamer by Mark Horrendens. Resident Evil 2 campaign length has been revealed. Resident Evil 2 will pack in around 10 hours for each of its campaigns, as said by the director and producer, revealed via WCCF Tech. I don't even know what site that is. Speaking during a launch event for the survival horror revamp in Dubai, Kazunori Kadoi and Yoshiaki Irabayashi, I apologize in advance, revealed that Claire and Leon's story will clock in far longer than the original version of the game, which first time around took about 4 to 5 hours. Speedruns would chop this down to under the 2-hour mark. So, given your reaction 5 minutes ago, or less than 5 minutes ago, how does this make you feel? Because it's not just a remake. It's like, it seems they're expanding too. So, nervous, excited, happy about it?
It makes me excited because if I'm not mistaken, now the one thing that I didn't understand is are they each character clocked at their stories clocked in at about a 4 to 5 hour time span. So now I'm not sure if they're adding all of the characters, you know, story that's going to add up to like 10 hours total,
Okay.
or if they're also including an additional portion of the game that they're adding, that it was more of extra content on the original one. I forgot what was the character, but I want to say that there was either one or two characters that were as extra content that you were able to get. And once you actually finish the story mode, you were able to unlock a specific feature. And then at
Oh.
that point, that's when they gave you a little bit more extra content. But by reading the article, it made it sound that you're actually going to have access to this content ahead of time. So I'm actually not 100% sure how I want to feel about all of this. Because are you giving me more playtime ahead of the game? Or are you just going to make it to where you're actually adding actual extra content to the game?
Well, the good news is we'll find out on Friday for sure.
That's
well,
right.
We'll find out on Friday if you decide to get it. However, if any of our listeners out there are getting Final Fantasy, look at me, Jesus Christ. If any of you guys out there are getting Resident Evil 2, please reach out over to us on Facebook.com/groups/GamingDad101. Let us know what you think about it. Let us know how they did this, how it was expanded. I'm still debating going into the game, so, I think more of it may cause me to actually be interested and actually bite and actually buy it. I just, I'm still go back and forth on it. But let's go ahead and go on to the next story because it has to do with, again, something else expanding and getting bigger. So we talked about Sea of Thieves. They're going to be adding. Yeah, that was a poor choice of words, wasn't it? Yeah. It took me looking at your face to realize what I had just said. Whoops. Sorry, guys. Sorry. So, back to Sea of Thieves. Oh, God. A new client has come out, and they've actually... I'm not even going to be able to get through this article without laughing. Oh, so... There's a new client for Sea of Thieves that goes live on February 6th, and it cuts down the file size in half. It goes from 47 gigs to 27 gigs. Stop giving me that face, Ricky. It goes from 47 gigs to 27 gigs, therefore cutting the size of the game in half. Now, the good news is that if you download it off from the get-go, it is going to be half, so you're not going to be spending as long a time on installing this game, because believe you and me, it took forever to get this game installed. However, the only caveat to that is that if you do have the game installed, you have to uninstall it in order to reinstall the smaller, more compressed version. So that is great news for anybody who hasn't checked it out, especially now with the content that they're going to be adding to it and storyline that they're going to be adding to Sea of Thieves. It's probably the best time to go check it out. So keep that in mind. It comes out February 6th for anybody that's interested in either going back or trying out Sea of Thieves for the first time. And Sea of Thieves is still part of Games Pass. So if you have Games Pass, you have absolutely no reason why you can't go ahead and check it out because it's free or it's included in it. Not necessarily free because you pay for it, but it is included in it and it is a very fun game. It can be, as long as you have the right crew so far, it's been fun. Hopefully the story mode that they add to it increases it as well.
So why do you, to me, I think they're just trying to get more players to come back to play Sea of Thieves. What do
Of
you think?
course. Of course. Well, think about it. Sea of Thieves was a great game for anybody who wanted to be a pirate and knew that they wanted to be a pirate and how they wanted to be a pirate. Sea of Thieves was a bad game for people who had no idea what they were doing and then try to figure out what to do. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
There was absolutely no hand-holding. There was not really much of a tutorial. You just kind of learned and went out there and did it. And that's fine. In certain games, you can enjoy that and that can be a lot of fun. But at the same time, without any single story, without a goal, there's really nothing to do. Sure, you can do anything and everything you want. But without an ultimate goal and an ulterior motive, what's the point? You know what I mean? And that was where I fell off with Sea of Thieves. That's why I'm waiting for the story to get added in for, and then perhaps I think I might be able to have a little more fun with it.
I don't know. I mean, don't get me wrong. I actually did have fun playing Sea of Thieves. Luckily I've been able to find somebody that every single time I log in, they're always playing Sea of Thieves. Last time I played with them was a couple months ago, and they were already at past level 99. So they've already basically maxed out their leveling system. And he just kind of just walks me through everything because I suck at Sea of Thieves. You tell me look for an island, I stay looking for on the map for like 30 minutes. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, for those that have never played it, you grab a quest. You have to go into your ship, and you go on this big old map, and you're technically scrolling side to side, up and down, trying to look for a specific island, and that takes me about a good 30 minutes just to do that. But it's gonna be interesting. I really do wish that they do add a story to this game. I know they promised it, and it's already been over a year. So I don't know. They'll hopefully
I mean, it is coming soon.
Yeah, that's what they're saying. So we'll see. They have been saying that for a while now too. So, but hopefully once they do add it, it does create an avenue to where a lot more people, do decide to try out the game. Like I said, I did enjoy it. I do recommend it for those that haven't played it, but yes, try to play in a crew because that's when it becomes more fun than trying to do everything yourself. You will get bored fairly quickly.
Yeah, fair enough. So let's go ahead and get over to the next article. This one is actually over on Kotaku, and this one actually kind of really upset me. So this article is by Jason Schreier. I'm just going to go ahead and read the article because, again, EA cancels open world Star Wars game. Electronic Arts has canceled its open world Star Wars game, according to 3 people familiar with goings on at the company. The game, announced alongside the shutdown of Visceral Games back in 2017, had been in development at EA's office in Vancouver. EA Vancouver, a large studio that mostly handles support for a variety of the publisher's games, including FIFA and Battlefront, have been working on this open-world Star Wars game since October 2017, when EA closed Visceral Games. Until then, Visceral, best known for its popular Dead Space horror series, was developing its own Star Wars game. That project, codenamed Ragtag, was a linear action-adventure game directed by Uncharted director Amy Hennig. EA Vancouver had been assisting on the project, and when EA closed Visceral Games on October 17, 2017, the Vancouver studio took over. So, we go back to what happened with Battlefront, to all the controversy with all the loot boxes, the fact that EA once again is mishandling Star Wars. We've talked about whether Disney is going to be pulling the licensing for Star Wars from EA and give it to another developer. When things like this keep happening, it seems almost inevitable that's exactly where this is headed. It's going in the direction of Disney finally saying, hey, enough is enough. This is one of our most valuable franchises. What the hell are you doing with it? It's a complete mismanagement of the franchise. And as a fan of Star Wars, of course, I feel really frustrated because, damn it, I want to play these games.
No, yeah, don't blame you. Um, yeah, I was looking more into the article as well, and the way that they're describing it is EA is trying to look at the games that they have slated to come out within the next year, and apparently the release date for this potential game it's going to be a lot further than what they want it to be. So, for my understanding of the article, is that they're cutting this one off to make a faster and shorter Star Wars game. So,
In
yeah,
other words, like it just makes it sound like they're just looking for cash. Like
pretty
that
much.
that's the problem. It just
No,
makes it sound
yeah,
like that's what they're doing. And I mean, if that's what you're doing, that's fine, but why are you canceling? Like so far, all the games that they've canceled and people have been curious and even looking forward to playing them. And that's why I don't know, man. I don't see EA keeping on this license for long. I may be wrong, but realistically, it's one of those scenarios where so far everything that EA has done with Star Wars has been riddled in controversy, and it's always on the news in a negative light.
hmm
There's yet to been a spot where anybody in the past 2 to 3 years has mentioned EA and Star Wars in a positive light and looking forward to something. You know what I mean? So with that said, it's just how much longer until the owners of it get upset?
I honestly think that this is probably going to be their last chance, at least in my opinion. I could be wrong, but in my opinion, is they're probably trying to get away from a big project that they can potentially f up if they don't have the proper um, equipment behind it. Hi, baby. I have my little one joining us today. But hi. She's just dancing. She took a shower, so she's coming over to show me that she took a shower and that she's
Nice.
on her little PJs. Um, but yeah, no, with this game, I think they're trying to avoid trying to create something that where they're not going to be able to actually finish the game either on time, where they're going to miss a lot of the stuff, where they're not ready to make an open world style game. Because from my understanding, this game that they're canceling is supposed to be an open world style of a game.
Yeah, but you see, like the first one that they canceled was canceled supposedly because it was a one-player campaign, and that they felt that nobody was looking forward to single-player games anymore. I mean, look at 2018; it was riddled with single-player games. I mean, all over the place, and it was a great year. So, where the mentality is coming from, I'm not exactly sure, but
I don't know.
realistically, it's one of those cases where I hope that if they first of all I hope that we get another Star Wars game at this point, because at this point
Oh,
they
we
just keep
will.
canceling.
We will. It might be coming out in 2020. I think. I don't think it'll come out in 2019, but I believe the next game that's slated is Star Wars games. What is it? The Order from the Respawn or the Fallen Order from the
Hmm.
Respawn. I think that's the next game coming out.
Okay. All right. So she's too freaking cute, man.
She's just climbing all over me at this point.
Well, isn't that what a parent is? Just like a giant movable jungle gym.
Yeah, see, but when my neck is stiff, not so much.
You
Not
do
not
have a
not
point.
not liking it so much.
Nice. All right. So let's go ahead and let's move over to our last article. Now, this article, um, it got me kind of excited, and I'm not gonna lie, it's a little clickbaity, but still. So this is why it was very clickbaity, and you'll realize why I clicked on it. Like, you know, whatever.
But
Point is,
I realized it, or
whatever.
everybody else will get to
I'm a
realize it. What
fanboy.
now?
It's okay. I admit it. At least I
Oh
admit it.
God.
PlayStation 5 features teased with a new listing that's over in comicbook.com. So essentially, the long story. I'm gonna read this paragraph. A new job post has been revealed with Sony now looking for a senior network operations engineer at one of the offices in California. According to the listing, quote, as a primary member of the network engineering team, you will be responsible for the development, support, and mid to long-term considerations of an advanced global IP network that adheres to the highest standards to produce robust, low-latency game streaming services to PlayStation Now customers around the globe. You will help contribute to an automatic first operation team to increase our efficiencies and ability to scale rapidly as we build the next generation PlayStation backbone. So, out of all the things that could have leaked, or out of all the things that people could have found, we at the very least know that they're taking the network seriously next time. Which has been the biggest complaint for PlayStation. And that, I mean, that alone gives me hope. I know that they're not talking about any of the actual system memories or whatever, but it gives me hope because realistically, when you compare Xbox and PlayStation, the biggest problem that everybody has always pointed to, or the easiest problem that anybody has ever pointed to, is the network issue. Where let's be realistic. It sounds like a joke, but how many times does the PlayStation Network go down in a year? You know? And that's coming from somebody who loves PlayStation. Unfortunately, the network goes down very easy. There's a lot of things, their store is not designed in the best way. There's things that can be improved. So I'm glad that they're looking forward to it and finding, that position is out there and that they're looking in that direction. Because again, I believe that these systems are going to be coming out not this year, but next year or the year after, between 2020 and 2021. So hopefully by then they have a better infrastructure to place them in an even better category, because I'm tired of the network being down. I'm just going to be honest about it. It's become sometimes it's been happening like once a month lately for the past couple of months, unfortunately, and I think that it's a big issue that they really do need to take seriously. So hopefully this is going to be the start of it.
No, yeah, I completely agree with that. To me, hopefully that is one of the biggest thing that they have to fix. Period. It's the way that their network just keeps going down. I mean, it's getting to the point where it's no longer acceptable. It's just very frustrating because every other month the network just goes down out of nowhere. That's just stupid. I mean, it's straight up stupid. There's no reason for it. You're a large enough company that should have enough servers to back you up, for situations like this. Because that's their thing. If their servers would probably go down just for like an hour or two, okay, I get it, fine. But yo crap be going down for days, bro. Sometimes yo crap be going away for days. That's nah, man. I wanna enjoy myself. I wanna play my Overcook. I wanna play it online when I want. I wanna play with my friends. You know. Nah, but hopefully one of the things that they actually fix is a way, instead of making all of your games because right now, what is it? PlayStation Now, you have to stream your games. You can't download them.
No, you can download them, and that we actually talked about that about a month ago.
Yeah, but
month and a half ago.
But that is currently some of the games, not all of them.
Yes, correct.
If they're working, if they still want to keep the concept to where they can keep their most popular games to where we can actually download them, and some of the older versions, if you want to stream them, I'm a little okay with that. I have no issues. So, but they have to fix their servers to be able to make those games, stream at a way better quality to where your latency is not being affected, every single time. Because yes, there's still going to be some kind of latency because, your input's going to have to travel through your internet, make it to their servers and then back over to your image on your computer or your system, TV, wherever you're playing, monitor. So there's always going to be something around those lines. But if you can minimize that and make it to where it becomes more fluid, more smooth, I'll be on board with PlayStation when it comes to their infrastructures, for their internet packages, their PlayStation Now. I might even consider trying it out, because I'm telling you right now, I don't play PlayStation Now. Why? Because it's up at this time.
I don't either. Realistically, I think PlayStation Now has a lot of ways to go. I think the pricing for it is still too high. Mm-hmm. I think that it would be a lot better if they had a Games Pass model, a Games Pass model where you are paying X amount for 3 months, 6 months, or a year. You know what I mean? And until they figure that out, I'm personally not going to be joining PS Now. I really don't think it's worth it in my eyes. Um, I think, of course, the network being the issue, I hope they go into the store. I hope that they update that. That needs, like I said, that needs to be updated. The whole connectivity issue needs to be updated. The streaming needs to be updated. But I really do hope that PS Now itself becomes more of a Games Pass model, more of a Netflix type of ordeal. You know what I mean? Where you're paying
Completely
a
agree.
monthly subscription and that's it, as opposed to paying for each game or paying for the hour or paying for whatever that is. I mean, this isn't a motel. So that's kind of where I'm hoping it goes. But since we're on this topic about, things for the PlayStation 5, do you have anything that you personally would like to see in the PlayStation 5?
Um, Besides a Games Pass style subscription for their video games, I mean, PlayStation. I don't know. I personally do not own the PlayStation Pro. I know it's a little bit faster than the
Yeah.
original PlayStation. And obviously it plays, have better graphics. Does it? I want it to where it can actually play natively 4K. Yes, currently I
Yep.
do not have a 4K TV, but I want the actual games to actually play natively. Jesus Christ,
Yeah,
I can't
native
talk to.
4K as opposed to res up and
Exactly.
yeah.
So that's definitely one of the things on my wish list. Exclusive games, they already got that down pack for the most part. They have currently the most exclusive games outside of PC, because if you really count PC, they actually have a whole lot more because you're talking about indie titles.
Yeah.
Um, so I mean, PlayStation pretty much got it down. I mean, give me more VR games. Something that's more
That'd be
affordable.
nice. The VR
Uh,
2.
oh yeah, exactly. Update your VR system to where I don't know, more comfortable, make it fit a little bit better. I don't physically have the VR, so I've never played it, but I'm assuming there's some kind of updates that you can actually do to it to make it feel more involved in the game. Make you feel like you're actually in the game versus then having a headset on.
True.
Um, Cause I don't know. Does the VR headset does it have speakers for your ears?
No, but what it has a plug so you can put in your headphones. But I
Okay.
mean, and I mean, I think that particular thing, it would be nice if they had some sort of thing, but then it's another thing you have to adjust. It's another thing you're adding a price on top of it. You know what I mean? Like you would have to pay extra for the little speakers, etc. So it would make it more expensive. So I kind of like the earbud idea better. But definitely a VR2 I think would be nice.
Hmm.
Personally, the Netflix subscription type service, a Games Pass type thing, that would be nice. I personally would really love to see for the PlayStation 5 that they adopt a family plan,
Oh.
because this whole thing of setting one PlayStation as the primary so that I can play this game that I bought digitally here, but I can also play it on my other PlayStation, that's a pain. I would even be willing to pay extra money for a game to have a family pass access to it, for example, where I can just use it in all whatever many PlayStations I have within my house. Tie it to the network, do like Nintendo does it, and just tie it to like a membership and you put what emails apply, whatever. But something like Nintendo has where it's a family plan for one price, I like that. I would really like that for PlayStation, for real.
Now, now that you say that, in what price range are you willing to pay that? Because right now we're paying, what is it, $60 for 1 year plan for a single, for just single user. What would you think it would be a fair price for a family plan?
Honestly, a fair price for a family plan, I think would be anywhere between 75 to $80.
Yeah,
I think that
I'm
that
more on the
sounds like
80
a
bucks
pretty
sides as
first
well.
price. You know what I mean? I would even dare say 85, but 85 is a weird number. So I think that they would stick to 75 or 80. That sounds more natural. It doesn't sound too expensive. It
Hmm.
makes people feel like, it's a bigger bargain for their money. And realistically, you can even limit it, like Nintendo does, so that you can do up to 8 accounts per family plan. That's fine. You don't want to give 8. That's cool. Give me 3.
Yeah.
Give me 4. Usually, the average family is what, 3.5, 3.5 people.
Yeah.
I think is the statistic.
I say four is a safe bet number.
That's what I'm saying. 3.5 people do four. That is a standard household in the U.S. And then anything after that, you would have to do another plan. I think that's very reasonable, especially for a family. And like again, we go back to we're a family of gamers. I have two PlayStations. I have two Switches. I need these things to go inside because I cannot afford to buy two copies of every single game. I understand that it sounds weird for me to say I have both of these two systems duplicate and then turn around and say I don't have money to buy two games. But it's a very big difference. You know what I mean? So like it adds up. It really does. It's bad enough that I had to buy two systems, but it'd be nice to save some money on the software in that regard. But yeah, that's kind of what I wish to see for PlayStation 5. In terms of the controller, I kind of hope that they get rid of the touchpad. I don't. The concept of the touchpad is awesome. I personally think it looks cool. I have liked it when I've used it. The problem is, do you remember the last time you used your touchpad?
Nope.
There you go. And that's kind of why I think it's completely unneeded.
And any single time a game even allow me to use the touchpad, I would actually go ahead and do the turn off feature. Because because it will tell me, okay, swipe up. I will swipe up. It does not recognize. It would get me so frustrated. Or swipe to the side or whatever it wanted me to do. It will not recognize. I don't know if I have a fat finger. I don't think my fingers are fat. I think my fingers are pretty average size compared to yours. Yours are fatter than mine. So, yes, it gave me a freaking hard time every single time. So, every single time I had the option, I would just shut it off. That's just me.
Fair enough. I mean, I personally do like it and enjoy it. I just wish that they would do something cooler with it and use it more often.
Yeah.
But those are kind of like the couple of things that I'm looking forward to, hopefully being part of PlayStation 5. Of course, we have no idea when we're going to find out about it. It could be as early as this year, sometime toward the end. We do know that PlayStation, once again, is skipping E3, so they have to have something pretty big up their sleeves in order for them to skip an event as big as E3. So we'll see what happens when the time comes around. But with that said, let's go ahead and get to the end of the show now. If you're joining us in Gaming Data 101 this week for the first time, this is going to be a different than normally. Normally, toward the end of the show, we provide what's known as a parenting cheat code of the week. These are cheat codes that we have come up with ourselves through our lives and things that we've been through, and that kind of applies to things that we have learned. Now, through fate or circumstance, we haven't learned anything for the last week. Luckily, things have been going pretty well, so we don't have any cheat code to share this week. However, what I would like to point out to all of our listeners is that the gaming cheat code of the week is something that we want audience participation in. So I'm going to put out the call this week. If you're a listener of the show and you have an idea for a parenting cheat code for the week, please get with us. You can find us on Twitter. You can find me at ViskZen. You can find Ricky at PiggyGamerDad. You can check us out on GeekEnd Cast. You can check us out on Facebook at the Facebook groups Gaming Dad 101. And go ahead and share a parenting cheat code, and we'll make sure to go ahead and read it up on next week's episode or the following week's episode. We would like audience participation. At this point, realistically, we've done 64 cheat codes. They can get pretty challenging, to come up with original cheat codes every single week. So we would like our audience participation in this. So guys, if you're a listener, especially if you're one of our regular listeners, any cheat codes that you guys have, please submit them and we'll go ahead and start reading those next week. So the cheat code for this week, I guess, is be a community. Help out.
Yeah, if not, you're going to start hearing duplicate cheat codes. I mean,
yeah, we don't want to do that either. Or, you know what? Here's another thing. Another thing that I would like to point out there, if you have any suggestions for the show or any ideas that you would like us to think about or consider, please feel free to reach out to us. We're always looking for an ear. Well, we're always an ear, so we're looking for suggestions, and we would love to hear what our fans have to say. So once again, thank you. With that said, let's go ahead and we're going to round up the episode for this week. So, Ricky, is there anything that you would like to plug, anything you want to recommend, anything that you want to say? Or forever hold your peace.
No. I want to recommend. I've been bench watching. Jesus, I'm not gonna say the word.
Binge watching.
Yes, I was gonna say it's a mouthful, but with you lately today, I don't
with
want to.
With me lately, nothing. It's been you. I've been saying things innocently, and then you make faces that make me realize, holy crap, there's a double meaning to what I just said, and then I feel like a jerk. It's been you, Ricky, 100% you.
Oh well, I'm Spanish. What can you do?
So am I. It's not an excuse.
But yeah, no, I've been seeing Gotham. I've been binge watching it. So I'm on season 4 already. Season 1 and 2 kind of slow, but season 3 and 4 it's been picking it up, full of action almost on every single episode. I've really been enjoying it. So if you're a DC fan, go check it out. You have some of your favorite characters. They do have a twist on how some of those characters actually do appear. But yeah, I mean, go see it. I'm enjoying it.
Sweet. All right. Now, with that said, that brings us, like I said, to the end of the episode. Thank you guys for joining us on this week's episode. Remember that Gaming Dad 101 goes live each and every single Wednesday on podcast services everywhere. Make sure to subscribe and rate us. And thank you very much for listening. We'll catch you guys. Oh, wait, hold on. Forgot that. Check out our website, GeekEnd Cast. I already gave our Twitters, but once again, you can find me at VizZen. You can find him at Picky Gamer Dad. And you can find the network at GeekEnd Cast for information on all our shows. Thank you, Ricky. Thank you, guys. See you next Wednesday.
Thank you. By the way.